town needs an enema.
Yeah, I'm getting, hey, I can feel it in my back. Even my line and pushing back. All snap, I'm getting, I can't remember things. What's that popping sound coming from my knees? Oh, jeez. I swear it hurt my brain trying to keep up with all the new slang. Come on, man. And I guess this what we want. We at the age where we get caught on 10. I'm getting, hey.
Welcome. One, all, maybe some, few. Who knows? I'm exhausted. Just tired. It's been a long weekend. Very, very long weekend. Hopefully you guys had a good one yourself. Hopefully you guys were able to enjoy the weather. You guys had a good time, and wherever you were, hopefully it wasn't snowing or any of that BS. But we're here, the Ray Hyclak Show. I feel like that's too loud. I don't know why, but it just feels like it's too loud, and my microphone sucks cock. I don't know why, but it does. We're here live Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are live for you here on the Ray Hyclak Show. And yeah, we'll talk to you guys. I want to talk about El Grande Americano. That match happened. Big success last night. So that was cool. Supposed to have Ramaj Iraq on, singer of I'm Getting Old, but he's not here tonight with us, so I'm flying solo for right now as the Ray Hyclak Show commences. Oh boy, what a day! What a weekend! What a weekend it was. What a week it was. It was a slow news week outside of politics. And you know, I don't get into that bullshit on this show anyway. So why in the blue hell would I do that? I got to mirror my image here. This is flip it around, make it look presentable. There it is. Looks like an actual studio now. Looks kind of like I belong. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm not a big politics guy when it comes to following the news constantly. I am a big YouTube feud guy, so like watching Hassan Piker get fucking roasted by everybody, kind of fun, especially after the dog incident. But besides that, man, it's been a slow week. I mean, UFC did UFC Macau yesterday morning. Started at like 3 in the fucking afternoon. And I woke up at 7 o'clock, right as walkouts were going to happen between Song Yadong and Davidson Figueiredo. And I think Davidson's washed. I think Davidson Figueiredo's washed. I don't think he is anywhere near the fighter he was at 125 pounds. I don't think at all that like he's at 135 really going to do anything. 145 is not going to be a thing. Yeah, I think 125 was sort of his peak. That was where he was completely ready to go and ready to fight and was a complete beast while he was doing it. But like now, older dude and guys like Song Yadong are up and coming, and for him to get tapped out in the second round after a kind of a piss poor showing by Davidson in that first round, he was getting tagged. And then finally it just went into the guard of Song Yadong and had to tap, which some UFC fights nowadays, man, I feel like they are completely, and when I mean completely rigged. There's no way some of these fights that happen. Let me get myself more into like front frame here. All right, cool. I'm better. Let's see over here. I'm gonna push. But like, yeah, I don't see Davidson Figueiredo's career going any further than it actually is, man. I don't see it. I don't think that we're gonna get to see a resurgence of Davidson Figueiredo. It's just not in the cards. It's just not gonna really happen. I also want to thank Angela Hill for exposing yet another fighter who is who from outside of the UFC the people were touting. A lot of people were touting this woman that Angela Hill beat, and dog, I gotta tell you, the ability for people just to forget that the UFC is top makes me just like, I can't buy the propaganda anymore. I can't buy the anti-UFC propaganda anymore. There's just not enough space in my head to justify saying that the fighters that like the UFC doesn't have the best competition, that they don't have the number one athletes in any other organization, and Dana doesn't know talent. Or Hunter doesn't know talent. This woman was supposedly, I think she was on like a 14 fight winning streak, and Angela Hill completely obliterated this poor girl. And it's like, people can say what they want to say, but it's like they're not on the level of UFC fighters. Just not on the level at all. Like nowhere near on the level of a UFC fighter. Robin Black, I have a little personal feud with that guy because like he's been talking out of his fucking crack smoking ass for over a decade now. Like anything that guy touches, if you tell me Robin Black said it, I immediately just don't believe it. I don't believe Robin Black. Sorry. I don't believe the guys who are doing like karate combat about who's the number one that should be in the UFC but isn't. It's all hyperbole. And then the facts are the facts inside the octagon. There's no other place that inside the cage is the ultimate proving ground. And so many people have come in. And I'm sad to say this. Ilia Topuria is probably going to win. The more I think about Justin Gaethje, Justin has to have the performance of a lifetime and has to avoid punishment at all costs. Not even just like, oh, he needs to avoid punishment to get at all costs, because Ilia Topuria can shut the lights off at 155 and could really ruin the White House card. He's a WF. He's a World Series of Fighter guy, and now known as PFL. And for a long time, those organizations were looked down upon for a reason, like for a legitimate, actual reason. He decided to, he got the contract in the UFC. Was the UFC hurting for talent? Yes. A lot of the lower, when they were building the lower tier guys and were building the whole structure of the organization, it was like we were getting thrown guys left and right from Bellator and World Series of Fighting. And then you had the multi-champion tournament for Mighty Mouse at the Ultimate Fighter one year. This was the early days. And for like the people in UFC, people on the internet who are like, man, this guy would be a great guy in the UFC. Don't say that. Don't say that, because you'll look like a fool. Like so many people have. So many people have looked at guys and girls in the UFC and you see them come up. I mean, I've interviewed Jessica I. You heard so much about Jessica I. Did Jessica I have a legendary UFC career? No, she had a very legendary MMA career. I will grant you that, but she did not have a legendary UFC career. I'm trying to think here. There's a lot of fighters that have been touted over the years for UFC stardom, and then when they're lying starched on the mat in the center of the cage, people are wondering like, oh, fuck it. That's why I never, ever, 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 ever put a bet down anymore on fighters. Gable Steveson might be the only UFC fighter that I will put a bet down on because it's just easy money. He's a heavyweight wrestler. He's an Olympic gold medalist. He has starched so many guys. And again, an Olympic gold medal winning wrestler. You just found your new Rocky, Dana. Like, you just found your new, like, the money that Dana White is about to experience if Gable fucking Steveson is your UFC heavyweight champion of the world. The money that can be made from him is untold, because you have the marketing behind him at that point. You can put underneath him heavyweight or world heavyweight champion / gold medal heavyweight wrestler Gable Steveson. There's a cachet to that now. If you would have said that 20 years ago, oh my God, why is Kurt Angle going into the Ultimate Fighting Championship? People would have been rightfully to say, yeah, that's not a good idea. You shouldn't do that because it was NHB and it wasn't structured like it is now. Kurt Angle, if he would have been today without the broken freaking neck, because I guarantee you there would be some athletic commissions in the United States that would, and I mean would, ban him for life. They would ban Kurt Angle, a 20-something-year-old Kurt Angle, ban him the next day he announced to go into the UFC because of the health reasons. Getting dumped on your head, getting spiked unintentionally could have killed him. But if you had a healthy Kurt Angle now in the UFC, Gable Steveson and Kurt Angle would be the match you want to see. And Gable Steveson, man, Gable Steveson is going to be the next big thing in UFC and the MMA community once he wins the title. If he doesn't win the title, if he chokes or he gets just starched by other heavyweights, just easily starched, does not run through any of his opponents, we're gonna have a horrible bust. But so far on the lower scene, he's been good. He deserves this. Really does. Like, a guy like him deserves a 6-figure payday for going for the Olympic gold medal and winning it. Because I think they get like 5 figures, maybe. I think it's like 5 figures to do to win the Olympics. It's not that much money. It's not that much money at all. But yeah, Gable Steveson in the UFC is gonna change the way heavyweight MMA goes for a little while. Because if he can learn how to really strike and how to really kick, maybe slims down just a tad, starts doing yoga again, getting himself match ready, there's an unleashed beast now in the heavyweight division of the UFC, and his name is Gable Steveson. I'm just going to keep saying his name over and over again because I want you, the audience, to know what you're about to get from a gold medal winning wrestler. Brock Lesnar came in to the UFC with only the NCAA heavyweight title under his belt and pro wrestling and became a heavyweight champion. DC was in there, became a world champion multiple times. Gable Steveson at heavyweight is Charlton Heston at the NRA convention going, you're going to pry this from my cold, dead hands. That's really what you're looking at. It's really like you're looking at a man who is about to run roughshod, possibly, over the UFC's heavyweight division to the point where it's actually going to be interesting again. Like, we might get a Mike Tyson of mixed martial arts finally. We haven't had a Tyson heavyweight of mixed martial arts. We really haven't had a bad boy who is, it's more about the destruction in the ring. Everybody forgives anything outside the ring. Not saying Gable Steveson has any kind of things legally going on against him. I don't know. I'm not his lawyer. I'm not his agent. But you look at a guy like Gable and the pedigree. And I'm going to say this. The pedigree is there to be a world champion. The pedigree is there. And him winning the title would be a career-changing event for him. And it would also put new eyes on the UFC again. Honestly, if you look at how everything is kind of run, it's just hardcores that have been watching any kind of MMA content on YouTube. Not a lot of casuals are here. July is when the casuals will start to come out of the woodwork again, because mid-June they're going to have the Conor press conferences for this fight against Max. Hopefully, I mean, Conor says he's found Jesus. Hopefully he's, able to get himself together, and actually make this a good fight against Max, not just a slap box fight, not just, a total distance match for 5 rounds. This has to come out as one-sided as it possibly can. And I do not see this being a one-sided affair. I see it going 5 rounds. I do not see it going any further than that. Or I don't see it going any earlier than that is what I meant to say. And Conor being, an older guy, he doesn't want to take a lot of punishment. Max has rode miles on him, man. Rode miles. And for a guy like Holloway, who, I mean, God, we're only 2 years removed from UFC 300. 2 years, maybe one. Last time we seen Conor, his foot fell off, but I have a feeling he's gonna get the upset. Maybe, dude. Maybe it will happen. Max just has a lot of miles. Conor, he's got a lot of cocaine miles. Much different than fight miles. The wars that Max has been through, the fight. Who was it where he kept yelling at DC that he was the best boxer in the world? Fuck, I can't remember his name. Shit, I can't remember. Was it Jeremy Stevens? I think it was Jeremy Stevens. He just, Max has been through the woodwork. Then again, if you look at his record, the only person of significance Holloway hasn't beat is Conor. That's why this fight makes sense. Because it's the Conor has that dub over Max. And for Max to be he's the favorite, I believe, in this fight, just because Conor's been out so long. But I'd put $10 on Conor if it was a plus 112, or plus 1,200 or something like that. Why not? Fuck it, man. What do you have to lose? It's Conor McGregor. You're gonna get an entertaining month before the fight start. You're gonna get an entertaining ass week, and it's gonna be, all the Irish people. Who knows too? Will there still be an Irish contingent? Will the Irish contingent come out for their boy after all the controversy, after all the BS? You have to think they will. He's been gone so long, it's they miss him. And if they don't, fine, that's cool. He's been in the media a lot, and he's been very boisterous, so I understand. But the hardcores, the 1,000 of guys that are still gonna cling to Conor McGregor is gonna be magical. Of course, they have all. Of course, he is. They have all. They all have. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I kind of question what's really gonna go on. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see what Conor McGregor does against Max Holloway, and how the game plan for Max is. Because Pulse brought up a good point. Last time we saw Conor, he had checked a kick and his ankle fell off. So that was against Dustin Poirier, when Dustin really showed his true colors and how much of a bitch he truly is. But Conor's the last real strategy that won any kind of thing was Cowboy. Cowboy was the last one. He's on peptides. Probably. I wouldn't be surprised in him. I'm gonna say 2 fights. I'm gonna change these fucking lighting. This lighting's bothering me. Yeah, I give him 2 months or 2 fights max, dog. I don't see him fighting past 2027, really. Like, I think he'll do one more next year. They're definitely never doing a White House card again. They're not. They can't make that an annual thing. That's got to be a one done. Piece the fuck out. The pieces of the claw are going to go into the Smithsonian, and you're out the goddamn door. Fuck. What a day. What a day. What a day. I wanted to, since hopefully Ramaj good. We're supposed to have him on live. If he shows up during the show, glad to talk to him. But I was supposed to have Ramaj Iraq, the guy who sings the song I'm Getting Old, which you've probably heard in some reels or some shorts or just bopping around hip hop YouTube. And it's a really great song. I'd encourage you guys to go listen to it. It's actually in the intro of the show today, so hopefully he doesn't copyright strike me. Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully everything's good with him. And it's a shame we couldn't get him on. We'll try and reschedule for the next time. Since we're here, since we're chilling, not doing anything, I'm still getting off at the regularly scheduled time, so I got about 18 minutes to kill. Probably about a little over 20. But I wanted to talk about the AAA Lucha Libre matches that happened yesterday at Arena Monterrey in Monterrey, Mexico. First off, The Undertaker, you bastard. You bastard. How dare you be so good at taking what should have been comedy gimmicks in El Grande Americano and the OG Grande Americano? How dare you make me care? Mark Holloway, how dare you make me care so much about a German dude, a white German dude, and a white American dude going at each other basically over the Mr. Wrestling of Mexico now. Like, this is the Mr. Wrestling of Mexico. That's what Ludwig Kaiser has just become. There is no other way to put it. He is now the Mr. Wrestling of Mexico. They love him. They adore El Grande Americano. And he's not even American. And we have the Undertaker. We have the Undertaker to thank for this? Who saw that on their wrestling bingo card in 2026, huh? The Undertaker booking in one AAA, which if you would have told me as a fucking kid the Undertaker was going to be booking because he's retired at AAA and he's going to create one of the best story angles in AAA history, one of, it's not the, there's probably so many that AAA has had in the past. But for the Undertaker to take essentially just like a dumb gimmick, an absolute just fiasco of booking, and then make Ludwig Kaiser this like demigod in Mexico is insane to me. It's cool. It's I don't think there's really ever been that many very popular American luchadors in the past. I don't think that there's ever been really an American, not fully blood white American character that's ever gotten over that I can think of. I mean, I watched a lot of it as a kid. So, people who are adults who were adults at the time could probably regale me. But I've never seen it. And for the whole thing to finally come about where nobody wanted Chad Gable, and then all of a sudden he puts it's literally Batman. Nobody cares unless I put on the mask. Or no, it's like Bane. Nobody cared until I put on the mask. It's just his whole gimmick was goofy. I hated it. I thought it was just ridiculous. Why are they making this dude a star? Why are they naming him after a Starbucks order? Why are they really just trying to fuck with this? And then the Undertaker goes, "Oh, okay, I got a guy," and then Gable gets injured. I forgot about that part. Chad Gable gets injured as El Grande Americano, legitimately injured. And Ludwig Kaiser steps into this role out from the shadows of Gunther, out from the shadows of one of the biggest stars in WWE going today. History. Gunther is massive. He always needs to be a heel. He always needs to be in the spot that he is in, always for the title. I know he lost in Clash in Italy today, but he is a star. Ludwig Kaiser, nobody gave a fuck about Ludwig Kaiser. Nobody fucking, the work rate fans probably did, but nobody gave a shit. Then he takes on this El Grande Americano, starts dating a woman from Mexico who we saw last night. She was banned from the thing, bought a ticket, I guess. Did that old fucking chestnut. And then he and now he gets serenaded in Monterey. He gets all the adulation of a country that, probably a couple of years ago would have stabbed him just for being German and a professional wrestler. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, he would have been a great heel, but he is literally one of the biggest stars in professional wrestling down there. And you can't be more proud of Ludwig Kaiser and what he's done with El Grande Americano. You can't be more than proud of him for what he did, dog. And, it's a good thing when you see a professional wrestler just kind of figure it out in real time. It's an interesting deal. We've seen it with a couple characters. Brian Pillman started off as just white meat baby face, and then turned into the loose cannon at the end of his career. Nobody saw crazy Brian Pillman, who's a Puerto Rican guy that stabbed the other wrestler. That's wasn't Quiones, was it? No, it wasn't Victor Quiones. It was Invader number 1, I think. And he killed Bruiser Brody. Great Dark Side of the Ring for that. And yeah, man, it was a good show. But again, the match was really cool because I loved the gold mask of El Grande Americano, Ludwig Kaiser's character. And then just Chad Gable's Americano just had a bite to it last night. The darkness of his blue really kind of emphasized who the evil guy was. Mark Calloway, the Undertaker, bro, you want to talk about a fan-fucking-tastic booking scenario is you just created a guy and from nothing, He figured it out on his own. Figured it out and got there. This has to end, by the way. There's only one way this has to end, and that's AAA Mania, El Grande Americano, Dominic Mysterio, Mega Championship. September. Which, oh my God. WWE done fucked up, kids. WWE done fucked up. You can't make AAA Mania a 2-day event and then not have it in Mexico for 2 legitimate days. What? When I saw that announcement, it blew my fucking wig off. I was like, what the fuck are you doing, WWE? Like, I get it. You want to, I get it. TKO staff wants to start in Vegas and work there and then fucking go to Monterey. But like, it's not, that's a far try. That's far. It's far. Or Mexico City. That's far. It's far. You're going to lug equipment back and forth and it's going to be at the Luxor Theater. The roads around the Luxor are a fucking nightmare. I get they may have something like it goes underneath and down and all that bullshit. I get it, dog. But guess what? It's a dumb move. AAA Mania should be one night. It's the ending of every feud. And I know in Mexico City at Arena Mexico, they're going to have Grande versus Dom. It's going to be the main event. And El Grande Americano is going to make several men cry, several women cry, and kiss a lot of babies on the way to the ring. It's going to be a coronation of stardom, and it's going to be the downfall of AAA. I love El Grande Americano, but I think it's the last gasp of that company. I really do. I don't see the AAA that like we grew up in the 90s as kids watching. I don't see it being that very soon. El Grande Americano is sort of the impetus, not the impetus, but the bellwether of the danger that is WWE control in any company. And we've heard from other professional wrestling companies over the years how WWE treats their fucking partnerships with organizations. And for me to be behind WWE long-term booking in AAA, I'm going to have to see what happens after they put the belt on Grande. It could be all of a sudden he's the Hulk Hogan of Mexico. Could be. AAA sees billion-dollar profits. AAA sees a bunch of fucking, a lot of new fans because of people talking about El Grande Americano. It could happen. It could. I just don't see it happening. I honestly do not see him being successful or being the reason that AAA can still maintain long-term success. I wish. Don't get me wrong, children. Don't get me wrong. The bloody finish was great too. The bloody finish always in a mask match should like, if the mask is torn like enough to where you can see an uncovered eye, that uncovered eye better be covered in blood. And luckily when Chad Gable got in there and like they actually ripped the mask a little bit, you could see the gash on his forehead. You could see the blood coming down his face. That's what, to me, sold the Dr. Wagner Blue Demon Jr. mask versus mask match in like, what was it, 21? I want to say December 21, maybe December 20th or 20. I think, no, it was definitely like, it was that or 19. I can't remember. It was somewhere around the pandemic was when we saw Blue Demon Jr. and Dr. Wagner Jr. go mask for mask. And if you know Dr. Wagner, whose son ended up losing the Latin American title to Vikingo or El Hijo del Vikingo, whatever his fucking name is, Vikingo Jr., I think. Here's Mini Vikingo. He was in a fatal 5-way, or gonna be in a fatal 5-way to next week, I think. But yeah, man, the emotion of that match was fire. It was fire as fuck, and there's nothing better than like old school pro wrestling presentation. Just old school pro wrestling presentation. And for some reason, the Undertaker is providing that in spades in Mexico. So I'm happy for that. But you know what I am happy about, children, just if Ramaj was not here, wouldn't be going a little early, but I am hungry, I am high, and I want to chill the fuck out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say we come back next week. What do you say? I come back next week, talk about the news, talk about everything, and really kind of parse through the world that is. We are here live every single Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys have been amazing. You guys have been great, and I appreciate all of you. Like I said, like, share, subscribe. Abraham Drinking is another place you want to check out. And as always, remember this, kids. No matter where you're at in life, no matter how much your life may suck, you may be good and you're guilty about it, or some other kind of bullshit that your brain's telling you, just remember, kids, everybody gets bugs. Thank you guys very much. You've been amazing. Have a great night. And see you next week.